Empires of the Atlantic world, the Spanish and British empires. Two titans of history, their names echo through the corridors of time. Both left an indelible mark on the world, shaping continents and influencing the destinies of countless souls. Their stories, though intertwined, are painted in shades of difference. From their motivations for conquest to their methods of rule, the Spanish and British empires offer a compelling study in contrasts. This essay delves into the heart of these empires, exploring their origins, their triumphs, and their eventual decline. We will journey through the age of exploration, witnessing the rise of these global powers. We will examine their administrative structures, economic policies, and cultural influences. Finally, we will analyze their falls from grace, understanding how these once mighty empires ultimately met their end.
Founding goals and motivations. The Spanish, driven by the recent Reconquista, sought to spread Catholicism and claim the riches of the New World. Gold and silver glinted in their eyes, promising wealth and power. Theirs was a quest for God, gold and glory. Their motivations were a potent mix of religious zeal, economic ambition, and a thirst for imperial prestige.
The British, on the other hand, were driven by trade and economic expansion. While religion played a role, it was secondary to the pursuit of profit. Their goal was to secure the resources, establish lucrative trade routes, and fuel the burgeoning engine of industrialization back home. They sought to establish a vast network of colonies and trading posts, all working to enrich the British crown.
These differing motivations would shape the empire's trajectories, influencing everything from their administrative styles to their treatment of indigenous populations. The Spanish, fueled by religious fervor, often sought to convert native populations to Christianity, sometimes through force. The British, focused on economic gain, were more likely to engage in trade or displace native populations to exploit resources.
The hands of power, administrative structures, and control. The Spanish Empire, a vast transatlantic entity, was governed through a tightly controlled hierarchical system. At the helm sat the Spanish monarch, wielding absolute power from distant Madrid. Viceroys, appointed by the crown, ruled over vast territories in the Americas, enforcing royal decrees and maintaining order. This centralized approach, while efficient in theory, often struggled to effectively manage the sprawling empire. In contrast, the British Empire adopted a more decentralized approach to governance. While the British monarch remained the figurehead, colonies were often granted a degree of autonomy. Local assemblies, comprised of colonists, held considerable power, making decisions on matters of taxation and governance. This system, though at times chaotic, fostered a sense of self-reliance among colonists.
This difference in administrative styles had profound implications for the development of the two empires. The Spanish system, while efficient in extracting resources, often stifled local initiative and bred resentment among colonists. The British system, while more chaotic, allowed for greater flexibility and encouraged the growth of local economies and institutions.
A world painted red and gold territorial expansion and influence. The Spanish, early to the game of empire, focused their expansion on the Americas. From the conquistadors' conquest of the Aztec and Inca empires to the establishment of vast silver mines in Mexico and Peru, the Spanish carved out a vast domain in the New World. They later expanded into the Philippines, establishing a key outpost in Asia.
The British, meanwhile, cast a wider net. Their empire, built on naval power and strategic trade, spanned the globe. From the bustling ports of India to the resource-rich lands of North America and the Caribbean, the British Empire grew into a vast network of colonies, protectorates, and trading posts.
This difference in geographic reach reflects the empire's contrasting motivations. The Spanish, driven by the quest for gold and the desire to spread Catholicism, concentrated their efforts on areas rich in resources and native populations ripe for conversion. The British, motivated by trade and profit, sought to establish a global network of trading hubs and resource extraction points.
Riches of empire, economic exploitation and trade. The Spanish Empire, built on the backs of conquered peoples, relied heavily on the extraction of precious metals.
Silver, mined from the depths of the Andes, flowed into Spanish coffers, fueling the empire's ambitions but also leading to inflation and economic instability.
The encomienda system, a form of forced labor imposed on native populations, extracted vast wealth but at a terrible human cost.
The British, while also engaging in resource extraction, developed a more diversified economic model.
Plantations in the Caribbean and American South produced sugar, tobacco, and cotton, generating immense profits.
Trading companies, such as the powerful East India Company, established monopolies, controlling trade routes and amassing fortunes.
This difference in economic approaches had significant consequences for both empires and the people they ruled.
The Spanish system, while initially lucrative, proved unsustainable in the long run, contributing to the empire's eventual decline.
The British system, while morally reprehensible for its reliance on slavery, proved more adaptable and laid the foundation for Britain's rise as a global economic power.
The enduring imprint, cultural impacts and legacies. The Spanish Empire, driven by a fervent desire to spread Catholicism, left an indelible mark on the Americas. Spanish language, culture, and religion took root, shaping the identity of vast regions. From the architecture of colonial cities to the rhythms of Latin music, the Spanish legacy is deeply woven into the tapestry of Latin America.
The British Empire, while less focused on cultural assimilation, also left a lasting impact. The English language, spread through trade and colonization, became a global lingua franca. British legal systems and forms of governance were adopted in many colonies, influencing the development of political institutions around the world.
These cultural legacies, while complex and multifaceted, continue to shape the world today. The Spanish Empire's influence is evident in the vibrant cultures of Latin America, while the British Empire's legacy can be seen in the widespread use of English and the prevalence of British-derived legal and political systems.
Twilight of the Titans. Decline and transition. The Spanish Empire, beset by internal strife and external pressures, began its long decline in the 17th century. Wars in Europe drained resources, while economic mismanagement and growing discontent in the colonies weakened the empire's foundations. The 19th century saw the final blow, as Latin American colonies, inspired by Enlightenment ideals, rose up in revolution, shattering the remnants of Spanish rule.
The British Empire, though more resilient, also faced its twilight. The loss of the American colonies in the 18th century marked a turning point. While the empire continued to expand, the seeds of its decline were sown. The 20th century saw the rise of independence movements across the globe, as former colonies demanded self-determination.
The decline of both empires was a complex process, driven by a confluence of factors. Economic woes, political instability, and the rise of nationalism all played a role in their eventual downfall. Yet their legacies lived on, shaping the geopolitical landscape and leaving an indelible mark on the world. Echoes of Empire, a legacy written in time. The Spanish and British empires, though long gone, continue to cast long shadows. Their influences can be seen in the languages we speak, the foods we eat, and the very borders that define our world. Understanding their legacies is essential to comprehending the complexities of our present. The Spanish Empire, despite its reliance on exploitation and its often brutal treatment of native populations, left behind a rich cultural legacy in Latin America. The British Empire, while also responsible for its share of atrocities, played a pivotal role in shaping global trade, spreading the English language, and influencing the development of democratic institutions in many parts of the world.
A tale of two empires. The Spanish and British empires, two titans of their time, offer a fascinating study in contrasts. From their founding motivations to their administrative styles and economic policies, these empires charted distinct courses, leaving behind legacies that continue to shape our world. While their reigns have long since ended, their stories serve as a reminder of the enduring impact of empire. They remind us of the complexities of power, the allure of wealth, and the enduring human desire for exploration and conquest. As we grapple with the legacies of colonialism in the 21st century, understanding the rise and fall of empires like Spain and Britain remains as relevant as ever.